Melvin Marks Bobby Robinson was the president of the Hamilton Olympic Club, a two-time Canadian Olympic manager and sports editor of the Hamilton Spectator.
He had many titles. He was the Minister of Agriculture for the province of Ontario, but first and foremost, he was the founder and the president of the very first British Empire Games that were held here in Hamilton.
And so the most thunderous assault on records in the history of the games began. All had taken an oath to compete in the spirit of true sportsmanship for the honor of Commonwealth and Empire and the glory of sport.
Through his competition in athletics, track and field, he had developed a lot of friendships, many of which were from the British Empire. And he thought it would be wonderful to bring those athletes from all those countries and bring them to his city, Hamilton, so that they have an opportunity to compete at the highest level, but most importantly, that these games would be the friendly games, where they could create friendships amongst the British Empire throughout and have that event right here in our own city.
The first games in Hamilton in 1930 drew 400 athletes from 11 countries. The men competed in athletics, lawn bowling, boxing, rowing, swimming, and wrestling. Women took part in swimming.
To host games, it costs money. But first of all, you have to have the vision, and he had the vision. Through his own committee work, they fundraised money. At that time, City Council also contributed to the project. It's my understanding that the whole games cost $150,000. They renovated our stadium, which was built for the Olympic trials, in which he also helped organize. They built a brand new pool, which was called Civic Swimming Pool, which is now, of course, Jimmy Thompson Pool, and has acted as a lasting legacy for close to 90 years, and will be part of the new Bernie Morelli Center when it opens this year.
M.M. Robinson personally provided the first travel subsidy to many of the competing nations, developed the Athletes Village concept, and is credited with creating the awards podium that has been used at all major games and championships ever since.
A lot of hard work, a lot of effort, but a lot of challenges. As you can imagine, forget about the internet. They didn't even have a phone. Everything was done by telegram. So that was a huge challenge. For transportation, the team from Australia, it took them 24 days by boat, and they arrived early, and the village wasn't ready, so they all stayed at Bobby Robinson's home, where his wife cooked, and the athletes stayed there.
Even the less familiar sports won new followers because of the all-outedness of the contestants. You feel it in the grandstand. You recognize the big try.
The people were enthusiastic. The cheering was great.
At that time, an event of this magnitude would have been huge, because here you are welcoming athletes, some of the best in the world. And Percy Williams at that time was the fastest man in the 100 and 200 from Canada. So some of the athletes were incredible athletes that people had only read about in the newspaper. And here was their chance to welcome these athletes from all over the British Empire to compete right here in our city. Upon his death, his daughter Edna, who I became friends with, said, "Dad, what was your greatest legacy?" He said, "Let me ask you, you're my daughter." She said, "Had to be the Commonwealth Games. Look at how big and how successful they've become." And he said, "No." He said, "When I was the Minister of Agriculture, we developed new ways to produce more food so that less people were hungry." And he said, "Sport is important. It brings people together. But it's even more important that we take care of our own." So he wasn't only a tremendous successful leader, he was also a tremendous humanitarian.
Robinson, who has a Burlington High School bearing his name, died in Burlington on June 6, 1974. The Games will turn 100 in 2030, and Commonwealth Games Canada hopes to bring the event back to Canada for its centennial celebration. We can all thank M.M. Robinson's great vision for that. The Hamilton Sports Hall of Fame welcomes Melvin Marks Bobby Robinson.